Hi, I'm Mel Johnson Jr., and welcome to Alchemy Entertainment. Alchemy Entertainment is a brand new label designed to thrill and chill you with tales of urban horror, mystery, and suspense. Alchemy will also showcase rising new talent in the areas such as writing, directing, acting, and music, with groups such as Voodoo that can be seen in Ragdoll and heard on the Ragdoll soundtrack, available through Big City Records. And what's up next for Alchemy is another strange brew entitled The Horrible Dr. Bones. And this one's about a club promoter who uses his music and his magic to create zombies and exact revenge. But now, Alchemy would like to present a behind-the-scenes look at our first creepy concoction, Ragdoll. I'll catch you later. In the meantime, enjoy.
Action!
What? Y'all ain't dancing yet?
The movie Juice versus Chucky. Child's Play.
Action!
And I told my friends back east, I said, I'm in a horror film. I said, well, you get killed in the first 5 minutes.
Let's get up and have a boogie jam, have a celebration, and we'll tell y'all who we am. We KG, wanna make you beat you into the
There was a lot of energy going into this thing. It was fun.
and have the boogie jam. Get up and that's the master plan. If you want to like dance, let your
The
feet
voodoo thing kind of scared me.
left, right, left, get up.
Stepping with me.
What?
Rolling with the cake. Bouncing in a place.
Get off me.
Charlie called me up and asked me to come meet with Mel Johnson Jr., the executive producer of the new label, Urban Pictures label, Alchemy Entertainment. And I met with Mel and we read the script and we talked about casting and about ideas for the movie. And Mel and I got along really well, and I decided it would be interesting to work with him and try to find a young cast of black actors and try to put this movie together in a way that would be interesting for all of us. When I read Benjamin Carr's script, the first thing that struck me was the way it was a horror film but also kind of a crime melodrama, and gave me the opportunity to do some things that I hadn't done before, which is really kind of an urban picture with real kind of crime story elements to it. And yet it also had a really kind of decent moral compass to it all, so that all the evil that occurred in the story was justified. For me, the biggest inspiration in this film was the cast, because once Mel and I, we sat down for weeks and weeks and weeks and saw as many actors as we could see for each part. And when we finally got our cast put together, it elevated the film a lot in my mind.
Hey, yo, Grant, have you seen my red shirt?
Hush, Kwame. Can't you see Grant's conjuring here?
Hey, look, Grant, I gotta be in the club in like seconds, okay? The fact that it was, I guess a black horror film was appealing. You never really see those. I mean, I haven't. And I like the fact that it was about a family, someone who was, I guess, technically doing what he was doing out of pure affection for his grandmother and his friends. He was, in his own mind, he was doing the right thing. He was protecting something that he thought was dear to him, that he cared about. I would love to send some big black magic against Pear right about now. Shove his ass in a deep fryer. Damn him to hell!
Now you listen to me, Kwame. Don't make no mind to me what you think or don't about my conjuring. But the magic's in your blood, same as it's in mine, same as it was in my mama's. And that magic puts power in your words.
It was kind of freaky, because, some of this, people really take into as real. Voodoo is like, I guess, a type of subculture in some areas. And you for me, it's just, myth, urban legend, whatever you want to have it. So, it started getting a little eerie that some of this stuff is kind of, in certain people's lives, like a natural occurrence. Yeah.
For Russell, he understood the character perfectly, and with him it was just a matter of slight adjustments from take to take, but generally the first take he was really as strong as he ever was, Same thing with Jania, really. With her, she was very natural and kind of intuitive in the way she approached her character.
In a lot of black movies, the women portrayed are usually dumb, easy, and don't really have much of a voice. And she wasn't, you know. I mean, there wasn't a lot, you know, there wasn't a lot of dialogue, but I liked that she wasn't stupid, you know what I mean? She did have a voice, and she wasn't, you know, she didn't really scare easy.
Oh, I see. You trying to show me your balls.
Where I had more kind of flexibility to play with the characters were in the villains of the piece, with Stan, who plays Big Pear, the crime lord. We originally were thinking like some big, fat New Orleans restaurateur kind of a character.
I played bad guys before, but no one like this guy. He's just way out there. You know, one minute he's smiling and laughing, and it looks like he's a nice guy, and the next minute he's ready to cut your throat, you know. Okay, I see the big motherfucking things. Now tuck them back in, why don't you?
He had a cool about him, this kind of sinister cool that really worked great for the character. And he, too, is just such a powerful actor that he made that part his own from the very beginning.
Ted is an actor's dream to work with a guy like him. He just gave you free reign, you know, and you know, everything was on paper what he wanted, but it was like, okay, let's just go, let's see where we can go with this. Let's take him out as far as we can, and we'll bring you back if it's too far. And you love working with a director like that because he gives you just creative license to do whatever it is that you feel the character needs.
KT Bounce, I love y'all!
It was actually the director's idea. We had talked about a couple other characters that I wanted to play in the movie because we didn't know what the cast was going to be yet. So and then we came up with the folks that we got, and everybody fit into place nicely. And then there was little Mikey, just to make a little difference in the movie, just to make a little difference in the character. We thought, let's spice it up a little.
Okay, here we are. Let's go, people, move it. You ever been to Big Paris before? Of course not. You wouldn't know class if it stepped on you. Oh, these low-rent rappers give me a rash. Move it!
That character was written kind of as a general kind of tough guy, and there was some line of dialogue about one little piece of shit on a big plate of fried shrimp I got to eat. And when we were auditioning actors for that part, it suddenly occurred to me that what if we played that character like Little Richard, kind of like a flamboyant queen who could also pull out a knife and cut your throat, and, you know, just kind of make those turns in the blink of an eye. And once I got that in my head, I couldn't let it go, and we auditioned a lot of guys trying to find that perfect kind of queen, but scary at the same time.
They thought that I was crazy because I was always in character. Well, I wasn't always in character, but I was pretty much in character a lot. So I was always just, they'd sit there and look at me like, this man's lost his entire mind. And they really thought I was like them. I had the most fun that I had in a long time doing a movie as a little Mikey, because that boy is crazy.
The movie's called Ragdoll, but when we started thinking about making a ragdoll that could like rip your face off or stab you, the thought of a little ragdoll like Raggedy Ann or something just seemed not quite as sinister as something that you could imagine if you went back in time and thought of some old guy sitting on a front porch carving a doll for his grandchild. And so we started with that idea. What kind of doll might have been made back in the 1800s by somebody with love for a kid, and what would it look like? And then how could it transition into something evil? So we took those ideas to Sean Smith, who was the sculptor and the the effects guy who eventually built the puppet and operated him on the stage, and kind of laid that out with him. What would a carved wood doll look like? And so he came to us with some designs.
So I was very surprised at how it looked and how they worked the puppet, and that kind of amazed me. It was kind of funny because my death scene, it was kind of easy to do because it was like I really envisioned of this thing was really coming at me and it was trying to kill me. So I really found myself slipping to the moment.
What a creepy little doll. When we were filming in the house, I had to change for a scene, and they told me, go into this room, change your clothes, come out. There are 4 different versions of the rag doll in the room. I didn't change in that room.
A lot of times it's hard not laughing, because, here's this little doll and all of a sudden it's like, it's like, come on, man, And then a lot of times we had to work, you were playing to nothing, it wasn't there.
Let's get up and have a funky jam, have a celebration, and we'll tell ya who we and we can't.
There's a saying, in the black community about, there's a black guy in the film who's going to get killed during the opening credits. In this film, everybody's black,
I've always wanted to do a horror movie with a doll. For some reason, after seeing Chucky and those kind of movies, I've always wanted to do a movie with a doll. It's kind of strange.
I used to watch the Puppet Masters and everything, so I was a big fan of that back in the day, so it was kind of cool to be working with the same people.
I'm trying to have a good time till it hurts. No need to work. I'm from the state that teaches you how to party from birth.
So it's just like one cool party the whole time,
What y'all know about Louisiana Creole, Voodoo Duo, big up North, East, West, and South people.
I mean, the hours were so ridiculous, but he stayed cool. Like, throughout the whole thing, I thought that was pretty amazing because there was tension on the set, but not really from him. I don't know if it was good drugs or what, but he was cool.
What would I do with a ragdoll toy? I probably, maybe if one day, I get to have a whole mantle of things that I used to do, I would get a ragdoll and put it up there and say, yeah, that was something that I experienced.
For me, the cast of this movie is as good a cast as I've ever gotten to work with on any film. And if that's the level of talent that exists kind of in Los Angeles among black actors who don't get enough representation or not enough work in TV or films, and yet they're bursting with this kind of talent, I think the Alchemy films could really make some really great movies in the future.
But I love you. I'm sorry. I never meant to hurt you. I'm so sorry. It's hard to live without you. Your actions more than set me free. I praise the life you gave for me.